In this video, we want to continue with our wall weapon ammo purchasing. So currently we're just, sending through the cost and receiving it here. So we need to do a couple different things. So when we receive this event, how do we actually refill our ammo? So if we look really quick at the actual firearm, we do have the concept of our ammo values. So basically all we need to do is if the firearm is not equipped, we set current ammo reserve to equal the ammo reserve capacity. If this is equipped, then what we need to do is just modify the current ammo reserve attribute to equal the ammo reserve capacity. And that's basically it there. So that's simple enough, but how do we actually get access to, the firearm we just bought ammo for? Because we are accessing the wall weapon, not necessarily the actual firearm. So there's a few ways we can, go about doing this. One is going to be through a gameplay tag. So here we have the wall weapon tag, and this is going to correspond to the weapon tag that is going to be on the actual, the firearm itself. So that is method number one, and that's probably the route we are going to want to take. So basically, if we look at the payload in here, we have the target tags, which we can use for this. There's also the event tags, but this here gets overridden when we send the gameplay event, so we can't really use it, unfortunately. But we do have our target tags. So when we receive the payload, we can get that target tag, and we can go to our our equipment component here and parse over all of the equipped actors to see which one of them has, the corresponding tag that we're looking for. And if we find one, then great, we can do everything we need. So check if it's equipped and all that kind of stuff and set the values. It's pretty simple from there. Now the other route would be going through the data asset. So the wall weapon, if we go to the actual wall weapon data, there is the weapon definition here. So what we could do instead is inside of our payload, we can make the optional object basically equal to this weapon definition. So then in the event listener, we just get the data asset from the payload, and we again parse over all of the weapons that we have to see, which one has a matching, well, weapon definition. So that's the other route. They're both very similar. In our case, we are just going to do the actual tag approach. That's going to, in my opinion, be the most universal and potentially the cleanest. So to begin, let's go to so we have our wall weapon. Let's go to the part where we buy ammo, which is right here. And we want to set the target tags. We want to add a tag, and that tag will be the wall weapon data weapon tag. So add tag, and now we can access this from inside of this event being received. So that's good there. So what we want to do is go ahead and for now, let's just print out the tag. So %s payload dot target tags, and we'll just, target tags. And we'll just print out the entire thing. So we'll do a toString. So once we have that, we can go ahead and grab our equipment component. And in this case, we need to call a function on it that we haven't made, which is basically a find function. So let's make a new U function. We'll make it blueprint pure. And following along with the names that need to be refactored, we're going to do a actor and call it find equipped actor. And basically what we're going to be looking for is an actor with a F gameplay tag. So let's add a f gameplay tag as a parameter and include the gameplay tag container.h. So inside of here, we want to iterate over the equipped actors. So for a actor, actor, and equipped actors. And if we find nothing, we just return a null pointer. So here we want to get the gameplay tag asset interface from the actor. So if I gameplay tag asset interface, and from here we want to check. So if the gameplay tag asset interface, if it has a matching gameplay tag of tag, then we return the given actor, because that means we found it. So it does have this tag in its gameplay tag container. Now the firearm class itself already implements the gameplay tag interface and all that. So if we go to skg firearm and skg base actor, we do have the gameplay tag asset interface and everything implemented as needed. So we don't need to worry about doing anything in there. So now that we have this function, we can call find equipped actor. So if, let's do, because I do want to cast it. So a firearm equals cast a firearm. And we're going to be casting from the equipment component find equipped actor. And we're going to pass in the payload dot target tags dot first. So this will just get the first tag inside of that gameplay tag container. Now make sure we include firearm / firearm.h. And we should in here have the firearm. So let's print out a log. Found equipped firearm. Okay, so now that we have all of this, we can go ahead and give it a quick try. So let's go ahead, recompile, relaunch, and see where we're at. Okay, once we are back in the editor, so we want to load up. Here we have the wall weapon for the STG, and for now we're using a tag, gameplayQ.test, and the STG44 is applying for the ability info the gameplay effect GE_test, which is giving us that same tag of gameplayQ.test. So I do want to modify this at some point to basically not have to give us the weapon tag, through this manner, but I would much rather have it add the tag through basically just a tag container. So inside of the ability info, we would just have a gameplay tag container, and these would be the tags that we would want to add to our ability system component. Regardless, we need to set the gameplay tag, which would be used for this purpose as well, so we don't have to also have a gameplay effect for everything. But we want to set the gameplay Q. All right, where'd it go? Gameplay Q.test for the gameplay tags. So let's save, press play, and I'm going to actually switch over to the standalone for now. So we buy the STG, we get the tag, and we're going to buy the STG again. And there we go. We have on wall weapon ammo purchased. And here's the tag we're passing in, which is gameplayQ.test. And we also have the print of found equipped firearm, which is this here. So we do have the firearm. Now we can write one more additional function to see if a certain firearm is the current held firearm. So let's go to our equipment component and make another U function. And this will be a bool, and it's going to be is held actor. Let's just do in hand. Or sorry, not is held actor, is actor. Let's do in hand. A actor, actor. So this one will simply be a return. And what we want to check is if the actor is valid and the actor equals the current held actor, we want to return true. Otherwise, we return false. Now we can actually get rid of this return true or false, and just replace it with this. So if the actor is valid and the actor equals the current held actor, then this actor is in hand. So again, we need to rename much of this because it is quite named quite poorly. So what we want to check is if the if the equipment component is actor in hand and pass in the firearm, then we want to do something. Otherwise, we want to do something else. So if it is in our hand, we want to directly manipulate the actual ability. So not the ability, the attribute itself. If it is not in hand, we want to modify the ammo values. So let's start with the attribute first. So U ability system component. Ability system component equals get ability system component from actor info. And here we want to get the attribute value. So get, what's it called? Get numeric attribute. No, there is a separate function, get gameplay attribute value. So we're going to get the U, U firearm attribute set, get, the current, no, it's the ammo reserve capacity attribute, and then be found. So we'll be found. So make sure we include our gas attributes firearm attribute set. So we are getting the current ammo reserve capacity. So we know what value we need to set it to. So we can actually use this two places. One in here where we set it in the attribute, and in here, well, actually we don't need to worry about it in here, so never mind. So we want a const float, and this will be the ammo reserve capacity. Once we have that, we can grab the ability system component again, and we want to set a numeric attribute base, and we're going to set the attribute of U firearm attribute set. That was so close to being the right attribute, that would have been nice. And we're going to use the get current ammo reserve attribute. And then the second parameter will simply be the ammo reserve capacity. Next up, in the firearm, we want a kind of a helper function. So we're going to have a void. Let's do refill ammo reserve. Now all this will do is set the ammo values dot current ammo reserve to equal ammo values ammo reserve capacity. So let's call this in here. So firearm refill ammo reserve. So now we can go ahead and close the editor down, recompile, and relaunch, and I will walk you through it, assuming everything actually works as expected. Okay, once we are back in the editor, let's go ahead and just give it a try. So let's print out our ability system by the STG and shoot a couple rounds and reload. So our ammo reserve is 285, and if I buy ammo, it goes back to 300, which is perfect. So I can shoot more, reload, and now we're at 288. So that works as expected. Let's try it as a client and make sure it works the same way. So we're at 300. Let's just fire off, I don't know, however many that was. So there's a weird little reload bug going on, but we are at a ammo reserve of 278. And if I buy more ammo, it jumped back up to 300. Now, I can also note that part of the reason that this replication is this slow is due to the net replication or net update frequency of the player state, which once this is, feature is finalized, I do want to address. Okay, so now that we have that, it's working for the client and the server, we are pretty much good to go. There's one more condition we actually want to test. So let's buy the STG again, and shoot off, I don't know how many rounds. So we're at 281, and I'm going to switch to the 1911. I'm going to buy more ammo and switch back. And we are back to 300, so that's good. So let's try it as the listen server. So fire off however many rounds that may be. So we're at 290. Let's switch to the 1911, buy ammo, and switch back. So we are now back to 300. So that is, again, good to go. Alrighty, so that pretty much takes care of the ammo side of things, and what I want to do in the next video is kind of complete the weapon tag setup, because I don't like that we define the weapon tag here in the wall weapon, and then end up defining it in the actual weapon definition through a gameplay effect, as well as the gameplay tags. I would much rather just have, a set of tags that we can apply when we equip a firearm and tags that we can remove when we unequip it. So we're going to do that instead of doing it through this gameplay effect. So I'll see you in the next video. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can get early access to this entire series.